justice and how we treat children and victims in our system, and should she be granted any more clemency and not put back where she belongs, it's a failure and it's a stain on us, and everywhere in the world is looking at us to do the.
Our government is corrupt. Hold on, I'm about to cook. Mic check, mic check, mic check. All right, we rolling. Like I was saying, our government is so corrupt. It is atrocious that these women have to go through the gaslighting, the manipulation, the unaccountability from a government that we are supposed to have our allegiance to, that we're supposed to fight for. And these women can't even get simple justice that they're asking for as survivors of Jeffrey Epstein's shenanigans. You know what? I gotta say, L. It's insane. They said it themselves. This is not a political stunt. They're not here to endorse any type of political party or ulterior motives. They just want to be heard. They just want to be heard. They don't feel heard by their attorney general. I watched a couple of clips of Pam Bondi, and I gotta say myself, she was deflecting. There were barely any clips where a question was asked and she gave a direct answer. It was always a deflect. Like, just be straightforward with us. We want to know what happened. A lot of names redacted, a lot of stuff redacted, right? And I'm not saying, you know, any allegations are true. I just wish we had better transparency in the media. Because if not, then why the fuck are we watching the news? What are we watching the news for if we're gonna get misled? We're watching the news, right, to keep up with what's going on, and it's almost like we just watching it for no reason. Shame. Respect.
To do the right thing here.
So what would your message be to the White House on this? Because to this point, that is on the table. That is not a possibility. The possibility of pardon that the president could give, that has not been ruled out.
Yeah. Put her back where she belongs and close the door.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And
close the door on her.
Put her back in maximum security.
Yes.
Not give her more time.
Yeah. Give her more time.
Take away the puppy. And the cell phones.
One of the things that you reference, Amanda, and I'll ask you and Sky this too, the sort of international, the global spotlight that is on this. And we've seen, you look over in the UK, we've already seen multiple people in the British government resign, come under scrutiny for their relationships with Epstein. And I wonder what you make of the way that the landscape is here in the United States related to high-profile people and their ties to Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. I want to, just real quick, I want to reverse back for a second on Ghislaine, because Ghislaine is part of this international sex trafficking ring. Something that Virginia said, and it always sticks with me, is that Epstein was Pinocchio and she was Geppetto. She was feeding him, basically, and she was an active participant. She was often worse than Jeffrey Epstein. And the reason I say that is to go, and I'll go back to the UK here, is that they are taking more action there than we are here in the United States. To be quite honest with you, the king, I'd commend him. I truly do. I think it's very difficult. He's basically going up against his own brother. I mean that to say that these people, if they were able to commit the most heinous crime out there, what else could they have committed? Why aren't we following the money? Why aren't we taking more action? We should be opening the investigations, and we should be subpoenaing their flight records. They should be subpoenaing their bank account records and start combing through those. And let's see what's there, because I think if you follow the money trail, you're going to find some other things that they were much capable of if they were capable of doing these other things.
What are we doing as Americans? Because we need to take this a little bit more serious. Somebody has done this to a person who is no longer here with us, right? There is proof. And it only means what? He's going to wake up one day, and then I mean to this for all the perpetrators that have come out and, you know, and like, you know, Sky said, we need to follow the money. We need to get their bank accounts. We need to get their flight logs. Why? Because us And these other
sadly, that's
survivors
not
that are
gonna
Jane
happen.
Does are not the only ones. There are many more out there that we do not know about. And I got to be honest with you, these perpetrators don't wake up one day and they're like, okay, well, I'm going to stop liking children. I'm going to stop being a rapist. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. It's the same way when we talk about Ghislaine. When she walks away 20 years from now, if she's still alive, what do we think she's going to do? Become a teacher?
Yeah.
Maybe, you know what?
It's not even,
maybe her and Penn Bond.
it's not even funny. This is like a serious matter where there's probably 10 other Jeffrey Epsteins out there. Whether it's on a bigger or smaller scale, the fact that this stunt was pulled off for so many years. You got another guy, another perpetrator, Harvey Weinstein, right? We made a big deal about P. Diddy, right? But these are not the only people. And I remember about 10 years ago when my mom was telling me about these things, and I just couldn't believe it myself, right? I stumbled into a video of a young, it was a young kid, a female. She probably was like 9 years old, and she was talking about all these crazy things about like children being eaten and all this stuff for kids. And still to this day, after me watching that video, I couldn't really believe it fully. But this is a serious matter, and the fact that it's happening in our own backyard, and it's come to surface, and there's still no transparency after there's so many survivors coming out and talking about it, and it's in the media. It raises questions. Are we in the end times? Are we in the end times? Is it true that fucking kids are being eaten? You telling me people getting flown out to another island and all these crazy things are happening to them, and there's services on the media, and we just deflecting like it's no tomorrow? So what else are we covering up? What else are we possibly covering up? It's a lot of skeletons in the closet, man, and it's fucking scary. It's very scary. It's very scary.
They will be partners. No, it's like, guys, these people are not going to stop. We need to stop them. So I just wonder, will the DOJ or who will start the investigation? And like Sky said, we need to pull out these records and find out more.
And what's sad is the allegations are in these very high places of government. So now I'm starting to believe that you got to be some type of weirdo to be employed in these high places of government. What it means is a lot of people that hold these jobs, right, in the government, that's higher up. Our higher ups are fucking weirdos, right? So, do you even want your kids to aspire to be participants in Congress, right? Surrounded by weirdos, surrounded by people that's endorsing other people to do weird ass stuff, people that's involved in weird behavior. You got to look to your left and your right and double check that you're not standing next to a monster. It's insane.
I want to ask you, as we're getting close to the end of our time here together, about what's next. But before I do, I just want to go back as we talk about now former Prince Andrew. There was that now infamous photograph of Virginia that was decried as potentially doctored. Years ago, it was described by Ghislaine Maxwell herself as fake at one point. But now we've seen in this Epstein file release an email in which she appears to refer to this photograph as legitimate here. A photograph that I know, and we've talked about, tormented your family for some time.
What a day of vindication. I mean, I don't know how many times I have to say how much of a truth teller she's been, and the consistency in her story has never changed. And when you go through these files and you hear the testimony of Andrew, you hear the testimony of Ghislaine, the story is always changing. Oh, maybe it was a fake. Oh, I don't recall taking that photo or being there. And then Ghislaine verifies in the email, yeah, oh yes, I did in fact introduce her to Andrew. And so again, you're just seeing this.
Like, what else
Same
what else I have to
repetition,
say to
the
prove
lies,
that
and the
this
one
shit actually
person,
happened?
and it always pulls me back to what she says, especially when it comes to Andrew, is he knows what happened, I know what happened, and only one of us is telling the truth here, and I know that's me. That is the kind of conviction that she powered through this with the truth and conviction in her story. Before we end this, I want to say, yesterday we got to announce Virginia's law. And it was a dream of hers to reform the statute of limitations, and we're here, we're seeing that. Less than a year of her passing. And I want to end that on a good note, because I think the American people need to see that with all this grief and all this pain, like, real change can happen. We have the power to do that. And so we're going to continuously fight, because Virginia deserves it, they deserve it, and every single survivor who has been silenced deserve it. So we can't wait to see Virginia's law pass.
Her dream was to eliminate the statute of limitations to affect real change on a global and on a national level. I mean, this was to protect her survivor sisters. This is to protect future survivors and our next generation. We get to go home to our daughters and our children and say, hey, we're fighting the bad guys. We're doing it and eliminating this. In some states, the statute of limitations is as little as 3 years. It takes survivors, it takes victims into their 30s and 40s, and when they are moms and they finally get this power to come forward so bravely, it takes a long time. And the statute of limitations needs to be completely eliminated to give survivors grace. And Virginia, that was her dream. And I truly hope that can be, again, this isn't a political issue anymore. This is on a human level. I hope Republicans and Democrats and all alike, we will talk to you. We will come. Tell me the date, time, and I will be there. And we can have a conversation about this and why it's so important. Come see us face to face. This is something that we can do to set a new standard moving forward, so we can teach our generation and the next generation,
All of you have shown up. All of you have shown up again here today. And so as we close here, let me ask you this. Sitting in that room, being at that hearing, with a show of hands, do you trust the Department of Justice to pursue justice now for you? None of you.
I think they're going to have to learn what that is first.
That's right. Yeah, that's right.
So what do you want to see next?
Action.
Men to justice.
I want to just see women be believed. You use that word torment, and I think about Virginia, but I think about Maria Farmer, and that we have that 1996, the first half of the report. I don't know that anybody's found the second half of that report yet, and so we owe it to the survivors who came before us. We owe it to the girls and young folks in this country of the future. Changing statute is a huge leap forward, but also believing women first and foremost, or just believing anybody who is telling you that abuse has occurred and giving people a safer space to come forward that is more trauma informed is so crucial here.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for being with us. Thank you for sharing your perspective on everything that has unfolded over on Capitol Hill, and I know that this will not be the last time that we talk. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It is a story, of course, we will continue to follow. Our thanks again to them, and our thanks to you, as always, for watching. That's a wrap for this hour. More coverage picks up right now.
W. Haley. My thing is, I try to understand how there may be any other reason why Pam Bondi and everyone of her entourage is not behaving in a way where the survivors feel like they're having justice in the way that they want it. And the only thing that I could think of is maybe this could be another Me Too movement. But it's just, I don't know too much about the Me Too movement, so I don't want to speak on it. But there's just so many people with the same a story where it's just hard for you to not believe that these allegations are true. Right? I'm not picking a side, but what I am saying is we need more transparency. We need less redacted information, more transparency, and transparency of who's being held accountable. Who is being held accountable, right? Because all it seems like is there's a lot of pedophiles just running around with no consequences to their actions, and I quite frankly don't think that that's what our country is endorsing. I don't think that's the creative of the US. So that's all I have to say on this topic. And if you guys made it this far to the video, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.